Montecito, they are billionaires, they're superstars, and they don't like publicity. They live in Montecito to avoid photographers, and they believe that Harry and Meghan, with their pretty obvious pursuit of publicity, are spoiling the privacy of Montecito.
The Meghan Markle yacht girl claims simply will not go away. And you know I've spoken about this before, but until now, no one in the mainstream media has been brave enough to go there. Well, that has just changed.
Something flipped this week, and it's not going back, not ever. For years, these questions were stuck in the shadows, living in YouTube comments, quiet chats, and side-eye conversations between people really paying attention, people like you. But now, those same questions just stepped into the spotlight, loud and impossible to ignore. They didn't just land anywhere either. They hit one of the oldest, most respected publications in the United Kingdom. When a platform with nearly 200 years of credibility decides to touch a story like this, it changes the whole game. There's no undo button here. The floodgates are wide open, and everything is out in public now. Meghan Markle can't just push this away or silence it. This time, it's different. This week didn't just shake things up, it rewrote the rules completely. Let's break down exactly why this moment matters so much. First up, Julie Sill. If you're in the US, that name might not ring a bell, but in the UK, she's known for going straight for the truth. No filter, no fear. She's faced backlash, lawsuits, and pressure from powerful insiders for years, and she still doesn't hold back. She says what she sees, plain and direct. And this week, she put Meghan Markle in the spotlight inside the Spectator. That's not some gossip blog or random channel. That's a heavyweight publication, read by politicians, judges, and the core of the British establishment itself. This isn't noise. This is serious attention. When the Spectator steps into a story like this, everyone else falls in line, no hesitation. And Julie Sill didn't tiptoe around anything either. She didn't suggest, she didn't hint, she came straight out with it. She treated the yacht allegations like they were already established and dropped one sharp question that hit hard. How many yachts was Meghan a guest on before meeting Harry? Double digits? Triple? Not if, but how many? Think about that for a second. A publication putting that kind of question out there like it's already part of the record, and she sealed it with 4 words that stick. Pay by the hour. That wasn't whispered gossip. That was printed, published, and pushed straight into the mainstream forever. Now, let's break this down, because a lot of people in the US haven't seen the full picture. For years, there have been detailed and very specific questions floating around about Meghan's life before Suits.
NBC has announced plans for a spin-off to the hit series Suits. It will focus on Meghan Markle's character's struggle to balance her legal career while also caring for an unemployed immigrant.
We're talking about claims tied to luxury yachts, elite circles, and extremely wealthy, powerful figures. And here's where it gets even more intense. These conversations didn't just pop up after the royal wedding. They were already out there long before. But then something strange happened. A large amount of content connected to her past seemed to disappear from the internet. Wiped, gone, hard to find. Right as she stepped into the spotlight as Harry's girlfriend, it looked like someone with serious resources made sure certain details stayed out of reach.
Marrying the monarchy, what did you think it was going to be like?
Well, I didn't do any research about what that would mean.
You didn't do any research?
No. I've never looked up my husband online.
What? Let me introduce you to this thing called Google, okay? Over there, I think it's called Lori. It's full of useful information. For instance, turns out your husband knew Princess Di. That might have been a hint that this was going to be a rough gig.
For a while, it worked. But now, those questions are back and louder than ever. Here's where things take a serious legal turn. This isn't just talk anymore. Remember the name David Boies? Because that's not some random figure. This is a heavyweight attorney who represented Al Gore in Bush v. Gore and has stood in front of the United States Supreme Court. And at one point, David Boies wanted Meghan Markle to sit for a deposition, to appear in court and give sworn testimony about what she knew regarding Prince Andrew's behavior. Now ask yourself, why would someone at that level push for that? It comes down to overlapping circles. As one commentator put it this week, there is a there there. That line stuck for a reason. It suggests something deeper that hasn't fully come out yet. And then you keep seeing the same pattern pop up again and again. Soho House connections, elite networks, powerful men, the same familiar names moving through the same tight circles. Sophie Shandoka has raised concerns about Harry's charitable work, adding another layer people can't ignore. People who were around during those yacht moments, they've known what went down but stayed quiet. Fear, legal pressure, protecting themselves. But that silence, it's starting to crack. And now, all eyes are on what comes next, because the investigation is building and people are waiting to see what happens next. Jessica Reed Krause didn't just look into this for a minute. She's been on it for 6 full years. Not 6 weeks, not 6 months. 6 years of digging, sourcing, verifying, and building a detailed record around Meghan Markle's past.
That's years of interviews, years of collected material, and years of putting the pieces together carefully. And now, that work is finally getting ready to come out. And here's the twist. The people who already know what's inside aren't panicking. They're excited. That says a lot, because once something like this drops, it doesn't just fade away. Meghan needs to understand one thing clearly. The internet doesn't forget. You can try to clean things up, but you can't erase everything.
We have to remember that there are things that they couldn't even say about this, but I think now they're allowed to start questioning things about Meghan that we all have some evidence of. I mean, what is she doing on the yacht?
He wanted his privacy. The problem you've got here in a relationship with Meghan and Harry is this is a boy that was pretty much traumatized by media presence when he was little. He didn't really want any of this publicity. He was always attacking photographers. She's someone, ever since she was on the red carpet, who's craved publicity. So this is a relationship.
Screenshots stay, archives stay, and people remember what they've seen and heard. Now that the Spectator has cracked the door open, other major outlets are going to walk right through it. That's how this always plays out. The moment a long-standing institution touches a story, it signals to everyone else that it's fair game. And just like that, the floodgates swing wide open every single time. These questions aren't stuck in comment sections anymore. They're in one of Britain's oldest publications. That makes them mainstream, permanent, and impossible to ignore. And this, it's only the beginning. But here's the thing. The yacht narrative isn't the only pressure building, not even close. On March 17, Variety dropped a major report that turned heads fast. Their lead reporter, Matt Donnelly, isn't chasing rumors. He's deeply connected in Hollywood, and when he cites multiple insider sources, people pay attention. And according to those insiders, Netflix already knows what's circulating, and they're not pushing back against it. The mood behind the scenes is blunt. We are done. Not we're working it out, not we're discussing options, just done. Sources also claim that Meghan has walked out of Zoom meetings with executives when things don't go her way. No apology, no follow-up, no attempt to smooth things over. That kind of behavior doesn't stay hidden for long, especially when insiders start talking. She would reportedly just stand up, walk out, and not come back for long stretches of time. No follow-up, no explanation, just gone. And these weren't small meetings either. These were with the same people backing her with millions. That kind of move doesn't go unnoticed. Then it gets even more serious. Ted Sarandis, co-CEO of Netflix, one of the most powerful figures in global entertainment, reportedly wouldn't even take calls without legal support on the line.
I watched the Harry and Meghan Netflix documentary. Now, I'll be honest with you, before I watched it, I was not a fan of theirs. But now I've actually heard their side of the story, I hate. Harry says, how do you explain to someone who you've just started dating that they have to curtsy to your own grandmother?
How do you explain that you bow to your grandmother and that you will need to curtsy, especially to an American? Like, that's weird.
And I'm thinking, maybe just tell her that your grandmother is the fucking queen.
Think about how extreme that sounds. The head of Netflix needing that level of caution just to have a conversation. And then came a very public signal. He unfollowed her on Instagram. In today's world, that's not random or accidental. That's deliberate. That's a message, clear and loud. We are done. The numbers start backing this up too. Reports point to around $10 million in unsold merchandise sitting in storage, while promotional posters quietly disappeared from Netflix offices around the world. Lobby displays, gone, removed, wiped out. And this isn't the first time a situation like this has played out. Before Netflix, there was Spotify, where an executive openly called them grifters. That word stuck, and people haven't forgotten it. Critics keep pointing to the same pattern. Huge deals signed, big money involved, limited output, then tension builds. After that, blame shifts, public shots get fired, and the partnership falls apart. Then it resets again. But this time feels bigger. Netflix isn't just another company, it's a global powerhouse. The biggest names in entertainment line up for it, adjust schedules for it, and compete to be part of it. And yet, this situation turned into a very public clash, a breakdown that insiders say didn't have to go that far. But now that it has, it's impossible to ignore how fast things unraveled. So where does that leave Harry? The Wall Street Journal stepped in this week with answers, and that's not some gossip outlet. That's one of the most respected publications in the US, and the picture they painted, it's rough. According to people who've recently spent time with him, Harry is drifting, isolated in Montecito, disconnected, and struggling to find any real sense of direction or purpose. That's a heavy shift from where he once stood. Then there's the situation with the Archwell Foundation. It was dissolved back in December, and reports say staff were caught completely off guard. No warning, no buildup, just done. And when you look at his personal circle, it's even more telling. Out of all the people who stood beside him on his wedding day, he's reportedly still in contact with just one. But the detail that really stopped people came at the very end. If Harry ever remarries, he would need approval from the king. And when William takes the throne, that means William himself would have the final say, the same brother he reportedly hasn't spoken to in over 1,200 days.
And what Harry fears is that once Charles passes on, he won't be let into Britain at all. And that is a major problem for him.
William is planning to act very decisively when he becomes king to take away the titles, the HRHs, once and for all from all non-working royals, which will have the silver lining for him of removing them from Harry and Meghan.
And there's more tied to that. Meghan will lose her Duchess title permanently in that scenario. Just like that, everything connected to that title gone with a single decision. So with pressure building from multiple sides, people are starting to question the next move. One headline-grabbing development, a high-priced wellness weekend event in Sydney, with tickets reportedly around 2,700 Australian dollars for attendees wanting direct access. Sound healing, manifestation workshops, and a room filled with 300 women, each reportedly paying close to $3,000 to be there. And right in the center of it all, Meghan Markle, positioned as the main attraction. Photos available, access available, but all at a price. And those four words hit again, pay by the hour, a phrase that's now being repeated louder than ever. But here's where it takes a sharp turn. The organizer behind this big comeback event has reportedly declared bankruptcy. We're talking about around 700,000 Australian dollars owed before the event even begins. That raises serious questions about the entire setup. Think about that contrast. From Buckingham Palace to high-priced wellness sessions, now tied to a promoter facing major financial trouble. The image shift alone has people talking, and not quietly either. And while all of this unfolds, Harry is dealing with a completely different kind of pressure inside a London courtroom. And according to reports, the details coming out are intense. Charlotte Griffiths, editor-at-large for the Mail on Sunday, gave sworn testimony about her past interactions with Harry. She stated that he sent her his phone number through Facebook back in 2011. She also described attending a late-night gathering where he was present, including a 2:50 a.m. phone call and ongoing text exchanges, pointing to what she described as a real social connection. Harry, on the other hand, challenged those claims through technical details, focusing on specifics like locations and account names rather than directly addressing the broader situation.
She is an absolute user of the media. She uses every conceivable way to try and play the victim and score points.
And in that courtroom setting, Charlotte stood firm, presenting her account clearly and under oath, which only added more weight to the situation as it continues to unfold. She once had one of the biggest stories imaginable, learning about Princess Catherine's pregnancy before it was ever announced. That's the kind of headline journalists dream about. And what does she do? She held it back completely. No leaks, no hints. She chose integrity over the spotlight. That matters now more than ever. Because if Charlotte Griffiths were lying under oath, that wouldn't just be gossip. That would be criminal perjury. Serious consequences, real risks, and yet she stood firm in that courtroom. No hesitation, no backing down. The weight of that moment wasn't lost on anyone watching. Now look at everything stacking up at the same time. The Spectator raising major questions, Variety reporting insider tension, Netflix signaling they're done, Wall Street Journal painting Harry as adrift, ongoing legal pressure, the Arkwell situation, reports of removed promotions, unsold merchandise, shrinking circles, public social media moves. It's all hitting at once. This isn't just a rough patch, it's multiple pressures colliding at the same time. When issues build over years and relationships break down, eventually everything surfaces together. And for a long time, people raising these questions were dismissed, labeled, and pushed aside. Now those same conversations are moving into mainstream spaces, and the tone around them is shifting fast.
Very aggressive PR for the Sussexes got way beyond herself because she really doesn't understand the British royal family or Britain, but understands how to project her client.
You weren't any of those labels people tried to throw around. You were just paying attention the whole time. And now look what's happening. This week, the mainstream finally caught up to conversations that were already out there, already building, already growing. But don't get it twisted. This isn't the end of the story. This feels like the beginning of something much bigger. Tom Bower's book is on the way. Jessica Reed Krause has 6 years of investigation ready to drop, and the court case still moving forward with the discovery process getting closer. And let's not forget, once a publication with nearly 100 years of credibility opens the door like this, it doesn't just quietly shut again. Questions at that level demand answers, and history shows they usually get them. Meghan Markle once said she wanted the truth out there. Well, now, that truth is getting closer piece by piece, and it's not slowing down. If you've been following this from the start, now's the time. Hit like, subscribe, share this with others, and drop your thoughts in the comments below.